Well, hello there, and welcome to LifeWord. We're glad to have you along with us today. I've got somebody with me that I think you are really going to enjoy hearing from. His name is Jerry Kidd, and for those of you who are in the Baptist Missionary Association of America, the name of Jerry Kidd is almost synonymous with the name of Roy Rogers, or John Wayne, or Marco Polo.
There we go.
Now, Jerry, why on earth would people ever have gotten such an idea? What would have made them think that your name is almost as well known as Marco Polo? How in the world could that have happened?
Not sure.
Yes, you are. You're just too modest to say.
Except that I've been doing mission work for 50 years.
One of these days, I want to do a program where you tell of your exploits in moving your family to South America, or Central America. No, it was South America. Yeah.
Bolivia.
And that was, like you said, 50 years ago. What year did you move to Bolivia?
We started in 73.
1973.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And
November the 8th in 1973, we left Houston, Texas,
mm-hmm.
and arrived in February the 8th, 1974. La Paz, Bolivia.
Now, I am really bad at math. How long is that? How long did it take you to get there?
3 months.
3 months? My goodness. That is a great story, but I don't want you to tell it yet. I'm gonna let our audience stay in suspense.
We don't have time for that.
We don't. That's true.
Almost take 3 months to tell it.
But what I do want to talk about is the fact that LifeWord is beginning to start helping people around the country create radio stations. Now, in the United States right now, the only kind of radio station that you can put on the air without a license is an internet radio station. And so one of the things that LifeWord is doing is, for the past 3 or 4 years, we have been intensively working with people around the world, helping them to set up what we call LifeWord community radio stations. And typically, we'll work with a local church, local pastor, and we will go in whenever they express a desire to start a radio station. We will typically help them by either going to that location and doing the training ourselves, or by sending someone we've already trained to that person, or and give them an opportunity to start that radio station. And over the past 3 years or so, we have started just about 100 of these little community radio stations.
Now, is that in other countries or in the United States? In the United States?
Let's see. Right now, we're in several different countries in Central and South America. We have community radio stations in Liberia, West Africa, in Ghana, West Africa, in Tanzania, East Africa, in Romania, among gypsy villages up there, and of course throughout Central and South America. And they range they range anywhere from 15 watts, which gives you a coverage area of about 3 miles from the transmitter site, to I guess the most powerful one that we have on the air right now is 1,000 watts, and that's in East Africa, in Tanzania, and they go all between that. And so what we do is we show them how to set up the equipment, we provide the equipment, and we help them learn how to program an interesting radio station. So you're pastoring at a church that you have attended for many, many years, and then became the pastor of that church. At your age, and your age when you became the pastor of that church was?
74.
So 10 years after typical retirement age, you decide to take on the responsibilities for pastoring an inner city Baptist church. Whatever possessed you to do that?
Only God.
Everything good?
Everything
You
was
finished?
delicious. I would like a little box to take that home so I can
Absolutely.
finish it tomorrow.
Okay. all
Okay.
right. Any dessert for anyone?
I'd like it to go.
Tea or
Tea,
water?
sweet tea.
Sweet tea?
I'm
Okay.
good. I'm good.
All right.
Thank you.
Together?
This is together.
Okay.
And now this is a life word thing. This
Okay.
is yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So where was I? Oh yeah, 74 years old, and you are becoming the pastor of the church that you have attended for a long time. Why? Now I know because God told you to, but why would you do such a thing?
Well, of course, at that time it was Temple Church,
Uh-huh.
and the church had declined for a number of years,
Yeah.
from being almost what you would call a flagship church
Yeah.
in our association to just 80s.
Wow. Yeah, I remember when I came to Central Arkansas in 1989, Temple Church was the premier church in our association. It wasn't unusual at all for Temple to run 1,000 people in Sunday service.
Well, it was a very strong church.
Yeah.
At that time, of course.
Uh-huh.
And on your cashier rings, y'all get
Then
it.
it,
I'm ready. Here you go. I'll let you take this.
Okay.
Start that again, Jerry, and say, well, it was.
Yeah, it was a very strong church, and had a good ministry
Mm-hmm.
in the community.
Yeah.
But then there was the decline that took place, and
Well, and I think the community began to change.
community changed.
Yeah.
And so it was necessary for the church,
Mm-hmm.
if it was going to continue to minister,
Yeah.
to change,
Yeah.
and to start to reach out to the community,
Yeah.
and to be a part of the community.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I felt like that God was leading me to be the pastor of the church, it definitely was a very clear vision
Yeah.
that it must be
Uh-huh.
a multicultural community
Yeah.
ministry
Yeah.
for those that were around the church.
Right. I remember you and I talking about this over meals similar to this one, when you were at a point where you'd been pastoring the church for a while, and it had, like you say, it had declined in numbers until it was very difficult to find someone that you could afford to come in and be the worship leader. And so you and I talked about it, and
Yeah.
and I went down to join you, and just had a great time
And we
working with those folks.
appreciated that time very
Yeah,
much
yeah.
because you really filled the gap for us there.
Well, it was a really special opportunity for me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Well, that's when the transition was beginning
Uh huh.
because we had our vision, and then we began to implement that vision,
Yep.
and that was one of the first steps that we made
Mm-hmm.
in the transition.
Yep. Well,
And it
I
has-
remember telling you, look, I am not the guy that you will eventually need to lead the singing.
Right. Hmm.
But I can help move your congregation from where they are now to where they're
Right.
going to need to be
Yeah.
whenever you are at the point where you need to hire a new worship leader and music
Well,
pastor to come
certainly
in.
that was filling the gap
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
And of course, I knew that for myself also.
Right.
I knew that I would not be the future pastor.
Sure.
I knew that there would need to be someone else,
Yeah. We were
Younger.
caretakers.
younger and
Yeah.
with the ideas for ministry that would fit the community.
Exactly. So the Lord put me there with you for a little while, and
We appreciated that very, very much.
well, I
Appreciate
was-
the sacrifice that you made to come.
I was just pleased as could be to be a part of it. I was a music worship leader before I was ever an employee of any church. Just volunteer worship
Yeah.
leader, at the first BMA church that I was a part of back in '82, and just really enjoyed that. The organist at that church taught me how to wave my arms properly, so that
So you could look like you were leading.
so I could look like I knew what I was doing.
Right.
I didn't find out until 40 years later that I was doing it backwards because I'm left-handed.
Uh-oh.
But one of the gracious ladies who told me that, Judy, what's Judy's last name? Johnson.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. One of the gracious ladies who told me that, Judy Johnson, she said, it's okay. She said, Brother Rick, you can wave your arms backwards because none of us can sing backwards anyway. So eventually, the church called a new pastor, and he was able to bring someone who knew music to come and lead the worship, and you've got such a talented team.
Oh man, God has been so good to us.
Yeah, Daryl
Yeah.
and his family and all of the things that he's been able to pull together and make work there at Temple, South City.
Yeah.
It's just really, really phenomenal. Angela says that it's the best worship music that she's ever at any church that she's ever been a part of.
Oh yeah, that is great.
Yeah.
It is. It's good, and we're extremely grateful to God for what He has done,
Yeah.
and because He has brought together the perfect team
Yeah.
for the transition.
Yeah.
And we're in transition. We're
Yeah.
still in
Sure.
transition,
Sure.
but we are beginning to see now the fruits of the labor of others.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's just really neat